George. We are live.
Oh, good evening, everyone. Hope we're all doing well. Apologies with my voice. I stupidly went to Oslo, Liverpool, and Manchester all in 1 week, so I think I'm back with a cold. And then done by Munich at Meadow Park last night. So please bear with me. I'll probably sound a bit cross between Sean Dyche and Phil Mitchell at the minute. So we're going to talk about the Liverpool game and the Bayern Munich game because we didn't have a show on Monday because rudely I was going to go and get an award. So apologies for that. I'll introduce you to my guests first. So we have Mel. How you doing, mate?
I'm all right. Feeling super proud of you, but aside from that, nothing else is really exciting has happened in my week. So, yeah.
Cool. Glad you're okay. Laura, how you doing, mate? You're good?
I'm good, thank you very much. I must take my hat off to you, George, for the travelling you've done for the girls especially. I mean, who else would do that apart from you?
Yeah, I did have someone on Twitter say that I was a fan that only goes when we're winning. So I was like,
yeah, I think we can take that right out the equation. So
and so all my reply back to him was you there at Dagenham then? So yeah. So yeah, James, how you doing, mate?
I'm doing all right. A little bit of a chest infection, but we're getting over the worst of it.
Yeah, there's a lot. I think there's a lot going around at the minute, really. And welcome back, Dan. Great to have you back, mate.
Yeah, good to be here, guys. Just echo what everybody else says. Congratulations, George. Richly deserved and well done,
Cheers,
mate.
I'll give you my autograph next time I see you. A bit of a funny comment last night said Lewis was obviously taking the mick as he does, and he said I'll be turning on the Christmas lights at Southend soon.
So sorry, guys.
That's right. Paul, how are you?
Yeah, all good, mate. All good. I was very close to bringing a sign with me last night, asking for a selfie or your shirt or something like that.
Next time we'll do it.
Yeah.
It was really funny because
Alex Scott.
Yeah, me and Alex.
Hold on, let me get the photo up real quick. I've got them on here. Here we go. The man himself and the woman in question. Look at
that. Two Arsenal legends.
She's equal really on mileage for Arsenal as well, to be fair.
Yeah, she's really, really nice as well. So watch this space. You never know. You never know. Yeah. I didn't want to be like one of those crazy fans and say, Alex, can you come on the podcast while having a beer talking about we got super Rene Schneiders, do you know what I mean? So yeah, thanks to everyone who's watching the show anyway and joining the chat. You don't need to put all your recommendations for what next PR event I do. It's fine. I won't forget you guys. You're fine.
Never forget your friends.
Yeah, exactly. We'll start. It's been such a long week for me. I'm trying to remember the Liverpool game. We'll start with you, Laura. So obviously, we went into the Liverpool game. It was quite an important game, obviously, for the league. I think everything kind of fell for us that weekend, didn't it? Obviously, Chelsea, who everyone thought were never going to drop points against Leicester. Was it Leicester? And then Paul's new team, Everton, when Caffey signs from, they beat City, didn't they? So it was quite an important game to go into, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think it piled a bit of pressure on the girls as well. I think you could see that in the game. But I also think the girls went out with the attitude that this is the last one in the WSL before Christmas. Let's get in, get some kind of the job done, and get back out and back up the road, basically. I don't think it was the most exciting game.
No, it definitely wasn't.
I thought at any stage Liverpool could have came back into it, because Liverpool are that kind of team against the big teams, especially that they can kind of pile on the agony and can leave a team devastated. But I thought we did really well. I thought we defended that 1-0 really well as well. So yeah.
I will say, we were talking about celebrities and stuff about celebrities. I have completely forgot to mention that a certain Laura does need a lot of kudos here for being the one who made the Last Christmas song for Renee Sladers. I don't think she's got as much credit as she should. So
I think it's went off really well. It's
yeah. It's I bet it's a really, really good song.
Every time I hear you singing it, I say, there it is. There's that anthem. Should be Christmas number 1.
I think it's a really good song. I'm just hoping not to be hearing it last game of the season. But it's never some of our fan base are like. But and so yeah, just before, so if anyone wonders, who come up with that song? That is our own Laura. Like, we don't need Jamiroquai. We've got Laura. Carrying on with the game. Mel, you're gonna have to really help me out, because I honestly can't remember who scored. Was it Russo?
It was Russo.
Yeah, of course it is. It's Russo again, Olay, isn't it?
Yeah. Probably one of the worst corners I've ever seen in my life, but we managed to scrape a goal out of it, so I can't complain about it that much.
Yeah. We've done well with corners, haven't we? Like recent, obviously we'll come on to the Munich game as well, but
yeah,
it was like we scored a few goals from corners now, so I don't know if we nicked the men's coach yeah.
Yeah, I think the Liverpool one was a bit of a let-off. I think there was some dodgy defending at the front post, and Jenna Clark not actually knowing where she was to try and clear the ball away, that it managed to land at Russo's feet for a tap-in. But yeah, it wasn't the... People argue that she meant to play it low to the front post, but I don't think she did. We've never seen Kate McCabe put on a low bouncing ball at the front post before, so I'll die on the hill that it was accidental, but we'll take it.
Yeah. Dan, I'll come to you, because obviously I know before when we was doing the shows, we used to have quite a lot of talk about Steph Catley, and like what going towards with her future and that. But I think since she's slotted in at centre half with Leah, it's like completely changed, hasn't it? Like for me now, she's probably one of the undroppable players. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, definitely. I think she's made that position her own, really. I don't know if it was by just initially to start with, just by sort of default, or just but yeah, from what it's added to the play, how we sort of playing by having a right-footed sort of playmaker and a left-footed playmaker at the back, or being able to spray the balls out, it's just made such a big difference to the team. Definitely, she 100%, she's deserves to stay in there. It's just we haven't had a proper left-sided centre back since Rafa left, really, have we? So it's that was a big loss, and I think when with Steph in there, you sort of see what we have been missing for the last couple of seasons. So it's definitely been a good fit.
Do you think Dan, that obviously you see Catley? Sorry, I'll give her a right name as Jack. Otherwise, Jack will annoy me. Caldini will be. Do you think she allows Katie McCabe to play a bit more attacking, or just where we've got the Catley sitting in that centre half position?
Yeah, I think it's a bit with definitely Katie can get forward a bit more, and then obviously Steph comes across, but I think a bit with KCC in the middle has sort of maybe added a bit to that she's covering a bit more that side as well. So I think sort of between that sort of little triangle there, it has helped. But I suppose obviously Kate can go forward a bit more. She feels more confident with having a sort of naturally left-sided player at the back in Steph. It just it fits in better for the team.
Yeah, it's cool. Paul, I'll come to you, because obviously you're our expert on midfielders at Arsenal. I want to get your views on Kyra, do you think she's settling in and making that position her own while Leah Volti's unfortunately out with abscess injury, or do you think she's just playing there until the other two come back?
Yeah, I mean, she's getting a good run of games, which any player needs that's coming into the squad that's almost deputising for a player like Leah Volti or Kim Little that have been there for so long and have done so well. So yeah, playing that many consecutive games rather than just getting the odd 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there is obviously a boost for her confidence. She's getting to know the players a lot better on the pitch rather than just on the training ground. And yeah, it's all positive for the future. It's going to be interesting to see what happens when we have a full complement of midfielders that are fully fit as to who actually gets the nod in that position.
No, yeah, I agree. I will say I do think Kyra's played quite well recently. I don't think she's got as many plaudits as she probably should have. I don't know if that's just because other players have overshadowed her, but yeah, I think she's done quite well. James, come to you. Obviously, I think Kimmy come on, didn't she, in the Liverpool game? I'm sure she did.
Yeah.
And I thought she'd done that. I thought she'd done actually okay. What was your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's obviously been a long week, so there's been my opinion per game will change on Kimmy Little. But I think, for the Liverpool game, I think she came on. She sort of, at that time, you could tell the attitude from the players was jobbing in, get it finished, get it over the line. I think she came in and kind of helped to sort of create a solidarity at the back line to help keep it calm, keep it composed, and get the job done. But obviously, in my opinion, will all change once we start talking about the Bayern game when it comes to Kimmy Little, because I think that was not the game for her. But for the Liverpool game, I can't really fault her. She came in and done the job she had to do.
Yeah, no, that's agree. Mel, I'll come back to you. Obviously, it was a hard-fought 1-0 win. Do you think we saw a different side to Renee as a manager? To all we needed to do was get the job done, get the result. It wasn't about how we play. It was those 3 points.
Yeah, I think had we scored the penalty and made it 2-0, it probably would have been a very different game. I think, especially after halftime, especially when it's still 1-0, Liverpool really came out fighting. I think that's really when you can see sort of like the halftime team talk was very much, we can't let this slip. We have to keep going. Doesn't matter if we score. We need to come out of this game with 3 points, and you can see that in the team. We were still attacking, but defensively we were a lot more solid in the second half. Liverpool kept pressing, but we weren't letting them sort of get away with anything. There was a couple wee errors, especially the one from Van Domselaar, but she managed to play it off. I don't really want to speak about it that much because I was screaming at the telly. But yeah, no, it's definitely one of those games where it was just get it over the line, don't piss about and let anything stupid go. I think it's probably the sort of performance we needed in that game, especially because of how much you could see that Liverpool wanted that goal and they wanted to fight for a draw or even a win in that second half. But, the girls were pretty solid front to back.
Yeah, I agree. Do we have any comments?
We have a couple. The first one is from Chris saying, congratulations to you for your award.
Thank you.
Dorian has also said that George will be at every game now with Renee in charge, since people are saying that you're only going when we're winning.
Yeah, exactly.
Leah's also said, do short corners annoy anyone else? Yes, I hate them.
They annoy me, but I think Kyra, since she's been put on corners, I think they're quite good. I don't know if you guys agree.
Yeah, that was actually Dorian's next comment was the KCC comments. KCC corners are excellent. So
The one that I don't know, I can't remember what game it was, but there was one that was taking shot, but Kyra had cut in and run in front of the goal to kick it back across. I think that is perfect if that's going to work, but I don't think it should be a constant. It shouldn't be a constant setup in our team. What is?
Now, I've got a question. Obviously, we know we're talking about the elephant in the room, but we all know Kim Little can't play for 50 years. Even though I was quite impressed, even though I felt like absolute rubbish on Sunday, I managed to get 100 years Kimmy Little. I say, so, like we went from 10 to up to 100. 200 we couldn't get to. I think enough people had died by that time. But yeah, Laura, could you see in the future a midfield of Kyra, if obviously if Leah's not fit, Kyra, Palova, and Frida, or do you think that's a bit not enough?
No, I can see that, and I can see it. I said it to James last night. I felt when last night, especially when Kimmy Little was playing, our playing is far too slow.
Yeah.
I felt when Kimmy went off last night, the pace picked up pretty quick in the team. The ball was getting forward quicker, which is sad because that was never ever Kimmy Little's way of playing. I don't know what it seems to be right now, but I think we'll see it sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
So it is. And it's sad to say that about Kimmy Little because she's been such a legend within the Arsenal team. But I think it's maybe time for Kim to hold her hands up. And I don't know if it's also as well the whole captaincy thing that hangs above her head, but I feel we play better when Leah's captain.
Yeah. What do you think, Mel?
I would agree. I think when she came in the Liverpool game, she put in a solid performance, really sort of nailed down that defensive sort of unit. But yeah, last night you could see we were quite slow. I don't know if things weren't just quite clicking for her. If it is the fact that she's just came back off that mystery injury where nobody actually knows what was wrong with her, or if it's just a case of she's coming to the end of her time. I think regardless, she'll go down a legend for both her club and her country. I think nobody can fault what she's done in the sort of time span she's been on the pitch, especially considering where she comes from. There's not a lot of players that come from up this way that sort of make it on the same level Kim's done and do it from the age of 16 like she has. So it will be a very, very sad day in this household when she does decide to hang up the boots. You might not hear from me for about a week. I think it was about 2 days radio silence when Jen left. So yeah, I think when both of them go, it's going to be a very, very sad day in my household, especially. But especially just for this, like Scotland women's football, I think they've been two massive pioneers of the game, both on the pitch and off the pitch. I know Kim does a lot in the background with coaching. I think she's on like her UEFA B license, I want to say, possibly even her A license now. So it could be that she doesn't quite hang up the boots, but she comes off the park and ends up on the side of the park somewhere, which I think would be a massive, massive influence for any team, men or women, from top level down to academy level. I think she could make a massive difference. She's a very knowledgeable player, and to have played at the highest level for as long as she has, I think people would take your hand off to have a girl like her in your coaching staff.
Yeah. Yeah, like you said, she came back from injury. I'm sure she had an injury this time last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Did she have an earlier Christmas break or something?
Just trying to get back up to Mintlaw for Christmas. She knows what the travel's like to get back up here at this time of year.
I'm pretty sure both her and Leah Walty had an injury at this point last year.
I think half our team had injuries at this point last year, to be fair.
No, didn't have many players, also.
I think the only person that didn't have an injury was Jonas.
Yeah, that's a shame. Wish he did. But yeah, obviously I'll come to you, Paul. Obviously, Leslie Russo is finally we're starting to see the Russo we've wanted to see. Like, I think it's probably about 5 or 6 in 6 now, isn't it? What have you noticed that's different, like under Rene? Because it has just clicked since under Rene, hasn't it?
Yeah, she seems to be finding more space. Whether she's been, we use this word quite a lot since Rene's taken over, but freedom, and she's just moving about the box a little bit more freely. She's finding better spaces. The ball's coming into her quicker from the wings and down through the centre. So the whole sort of midfield and attacking players just that they're all just seem to be moving quicker, moving a lot more freely, moving into different positions, and it's obviously Leslie's just found her groove and is whacking them in, which we've now coming to the sort of a Christmas break. Let's just hope it continues in the new year in the FA Cup and the Subway Cup and everything else.
Yeah, the Sub Cup. Can't wait for it.
Horrendous name.
The Steeler
You'd be
Blastinius
better
Cup.
calling it the Mickey Mouse Cup. It would have been a better name.
I think we should call it the Foot Long Cup. And they should have just made it like a silver plate foot long sandwich.
The Steeler Blastinius Cup. Dan, obviously, before we wrap up on the Liverpool game, want to get your thoughts on Beth Mead, and I'll just leave it there because I probably shouldn't talk anymore about Beth Mead.
I think Beth's just maybe finding a bit of a new role in the squad, really. I think she has gone from that first choice, starting 11 all the time, to now she's an impact player. And I think maybe her with Kim is a bit the same. There's some games that suit her, and other games where she's just got to play a bit part, and then she's just been sort of coming on with things. I think I wouldn't doubt or question her work effort. I think you definitely see a lot. She puts in a shift every game, but I think there are just so, but there's certain games that are suiting her better than others at the moment, and I don't know if maybe she's suffering a little bit confidence wise because she's maybe hasn't been assisting or scoring as much, but again, it could just be that little knock in confidence now that she isn't, like we say with Caitlin, who's really stepped up this season, and Beth's maybe just got to find what Caitlin's been having over the summer.
Yeah, Ballon Ford, mate. That's what it is. So we'll move on to the Bayern Munich game. Oh, and I just want to say congratulations to the whole country of Scotland for getting rid of their manager. So I just dropped that in.
Yes. Fucking get in! Get him out of here! See you later, you waste of space.
Right, Mel, time to step up. Come on.
I think it's about time people actually do listen to the podcast and I'm just going to run through this quickly. The week before, I said Jonas had to go if we didn't beat Chelsea. He went. I said we had another thing on here to say that Russo was in the doghouse and he did start scoring. She scored 6 in 6. Then we said that the Scotland manager had to go. Like there was just no argument about it. A couple of days later, he's gone.
I don't really think the Scotland one was a discussion. I think it was more that I was having a meltdown. But yeah.
But it's like, do you know what I mean? It's not coincidental anymore. I think there's someone watching privately, like to say like these guys do talk sense for about 5 minutes of the show. So, and it's kind of lucky we moved, we missed out because I forgot we didn't do the Oslo game, but Manu Zinsberger was in my doghouse. But I wanted to kind of hold that back because I was hoping Andrew would be here because I like hearing how he gets loses his head about stuff. So yeah, we'll go into the Bayern Munich game. So obviously it was quite important, James. If we won, we won the group. Obviously, the Man City B team after their new episode of casualty with all their injuries. I think they got battered 3-0, didn't they, with Barcelona? So, what was your thoughts going into the game, James? With Munich before, when you saw the lineup and stuff.
you know, the lineup I was actually, to start with, I was actually really happy with. Looked good. We're going to go. We're going for it. We're going attacking, especially as well. We're at Meadow Park. Although I don't think many of us believed that Meadow Park was actually wider than the Emirates, but UEFA proved us wrong. I think a few players maybe didn't quite suit the start, such as Stina. I think Stina just first half I thought she done well, but it was almost as if we were still playing that one up front. And when we're long balls, one ball in particular, Leah played. She flicked the long ball and she's looking for the flick on, and there's no one behind her. So I think it kind of shot us in the foot slightly. But looking on the whole, it was a positive to see we were actually going for the game, especially considering the first game. It could have been forgiven to go a bit more defensive, I think.
Yeah. I'm not going to lie. When I saw the team, I was like, "What the fuck?" Like, I think it was just a Steiner thing for me. Darren's going to watch this back and think he's probably going to beat me up when he sees me or something. But I just don't. I'm sorry, and it might be a controversial take for the season again. I'm just not having Steiner starting a game as a number 9. I just don't. I think she misses too many chances. I know. Paul, do you agree with that? Disagree? I think when you got Russo scoring, even though she did score, but I don't know.
She seems to miss sometimes. The last couple of games, she seems to have missed ones which it seemed harder to miss than actually score.
Yeah.
I remember that one against Villa, wasn't it, a couple of weeks ago?
Oh, mate, don't.
Yeah, the one that she wasn't offside for, or the assistant didn't wave her flag anyway for once. But they seem to be a bit more obvious to us fans watching, whereas a few of the other players, they'll probably miss the same amount of chances, but they'll be harder chances to miss.
Yeah.
So it's possibly a little bit unfair on Stina, but still fair on it in the same way.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I do believe miracles happen. Do you know what I mean? I had Gabrielle Jesus score a hat-trick last night. So, miracles do happen. It frustrates me because on her day, she scored some really, really important goals, hasn't she, Dan? But them days don't, there's some of them days, like the Villa, I had forgot about that, and it's just going to be PTSD again. So,
I don't know if she's been watching a bit. She's been getting some coaching lessons for Raheem Sterling for her finishing at the moment.
Maybe.
But yeah, less said about that. But I suppose it's again a confidence thing with Stina. I think we was here in the summer and it was like definitely we got to make sure we're keeping Stina and that 100%. But it's I don't know. I mean, if we're gonna go, I know we're obviously quarter-final stage, but if we've got ambition to go semi-finals, finals for the Champions League, you've got to be clinical, and you can't afford to be missing a lot of chances. If we're playing your Lyons and your Wolfsburgs, even Barcelona in the final, we're not going to get many chances, and we can't afford Stina wasting chances. But I'm sure at some point between now and the end of the season, she'll have a run and she'll have a good run of scoring. But that's the frustration with her, I suppose, isn't it? It's she has very lean spells and then she'll go on a good scoring run, and we just hope maybe she times it towards the end of the season so we can get a bit of silverware.
You have just lit another fuse under me about something that really, really fucking irritates me. And it isn't what you've said, but Mel, I'll come to you. When we say that the players lack confidence, don't we say that every other week with Stina?
Near enough, yeah.
So it's how many?
Any time she plays and misses a sitter, we're like, oh, she just lacks confidence. She needs more minutes. But I think at this point, it's just Stina being Stina. I want to actually grab her and shake her. I think I saw a tweet where somebody was like, has somebody actually ever sat Stina down and taught her the offside rule? And it's valid. Like, sit at the dinner table, get the salt and pepper shakers, and just teach that girl the offside rule, because it makes me want to smash my head against a brick wall. She's so...
Show the scene and bend it like Beckham. She might be able to learn the offside that way.
It's like both her and Russo are probably better than 90% of centre backs that they come up against, and I don't know why they have to go so fucking early every single time. Like, have a half step. Like, you're always 9 times out of 10 you're beating that defender. So why? It just frustrates me to no end.
No, don't get me
Stina
wrong.
has the pace as well to be able to beat a defender.
Yeah, that's what annoys me.
Yeah, she has the pace to be able to defeat that defender. So why does she constantly feel like she has to be offside to be able to catch that ball? I get that sometimes, especially when we don't have VAR, I get that sometimes that might work. That sometimes she might not be able to be caught, like get caught offside, and it is a goal. But yeah, she has the pace to be able to beat those defenders through in that ball going forward.
Stina is one of the most instinctive players. As soon as she's got time to think about anything, that's when inevitably she misses. As soon as she's just doesn't have to think, hit it, and that's 9 times out of 10 it goes in. But as soon as she has to she's 1-on-1, that's when she's missing more than other times. I think she's a very instinctive player.
I'll be honest, but see the way I viewed it, seeing that lineup to start, I thought we were going 2 up top, and I'm going to sound very old-fashioned, but an old-style strike partnership where one is a poacher and the other one runs. Nowhere one somehow ends up at your back post trying to defend a 6'2" striker. That's the thing. That's what I think Stina's looking for Russo to be making the run-ons. Stina doesn't want to be making those runs. She wants to be the player that flicks the ball in for Russo to run in behind the defence every time and get the goals. So when Stina does get through, it's, right, what do I do now? I've not got my strike partner to back me up.
Stina's not a very good striker 1-on-1. She's not.
That's her job.
We know it's a job, but she's not. You can see it. She's not a 1-on-1. She's not very good on 1-on-1.
She's a partner up striker. See if you partner up with somebody that you can go draw the keeper to come out, thinking that something's going to happen and tap it off with happen. That's Stina. Stina's an assist. Stina's not an out and out.
Sorry, I did sound like Roy Keane there. So that she just frustrates me, and I know Hannah will probably hate me and batter me every time I see.
Hannah's probably punching the air right now.
If Hannah would have heard what I said last night, she would have punched me right in the mouth last night. So
I think that someone even said.
I honestly, as I said last night, I wouldn't miss Stina if she was to go in the December transfer. I'd actually bring Adrian back. I'd bring Michelle back. She seems like she's scoring for fun at Brighton.
Do you think we was set Stina up a little bit? It was always going to be a struggle for her against Bayern last night, but we didn't. If we played Russo and Frida, that's a sort of a split pair, and it would have worked better. Just playing Stina like that was never going to work against that quality of opposition. I think I know, and definitely everybody's right about what they're saying, but I think Rennie didn't do a lot of favours last night, really.
I mean, I would agree if Frida didn't come on and also play like absolute dog shit. I keep calling her the queen of the Champions League, like she hears the Champions League music and it unlocks something within her, but she played like absolute dog shit last night. It's probably the worst she's played this season. I don't think she offered us anything when she came on, if I'm honest.
No.
Yeah.
I actually thought Beth Mead offered a lot more last night than Frida did.
Yeah.
I think what changed obviously was with the pace of it. I thought Frida offered quite a bit more pace than when Kim was on. But I do agree. I don't think she offered as much as she normally does. I personally, when Stina was playing, I didn't think she offered that much. But Like, I just don't think Stina starts games that well. Like maybe if you bring her on and stuff like that, maybe that works. But
it does. But Stina coming on as an impact sub, we've seen it from when he took over. We've seen it week in week, especially as well as the opposition tires. The likes of Stina, Hertzig, possibly depending on who else is on the bench. Kyra coming across, Vida Manum coming on. That sort of free impact subs where there is that pace, that's something different to think about. And we kill a team that way. I do like seeing teams go 2 strikers up top. But if you're going 2 up top, we need it to be a partnership, not a, right, you try it for a half hour. If it doesn't work, you pull back and we'll try the other one.
yeah, there is one thing I will rant about, and I haven't done this for a while. But whoever that fucking referee was needs to give this up. Was doing my absolute head in last night. I tell you, it was like watching a female David Coots off their face on cocaine. Some of those decisions was ridiculous. Like, it's fine. I've got my award now. I don't care about anything else. Like, it was unbelievable. Some of the decisions that she made. Like, Paul, I'll come to you. I think, like, every time we got the ball, she'd blow up for something else. And then Bayern Munich was allowed to do whatever they wanted to. Like, there were some really atrocious decisions, wasn't there?
Oh, yeah. I mean, the one that sort of stuck out was the challenge on, I think it was Caitlin Ford towards the end of the game. And then 10 seconds later, Katie was Katie and did pretty much exactly the same thing to the Bayern player and got pulled up for it.
Yeah.
So obviously Katie was just retaliating as only she does best. But yeah, it was lots of little things through the game. She just kept pulling us up on, and I know the weather didn't help, and the wind, the rain, and so on. But it did seem very unfair. The amount of free kicks being given the other way. There were a couple of dodgy throw-in decisions where it was clearly we should have had the throw-in. It was given the other way. There was one down in the corner that I think she gave a throw-in when it should have been a corner.
That's what I mean. Like, how can you get shit like that wrong? Unless you're blind, like you've got eyes, ref. Fucking use them. Like, how can you not? How can you say, "Oh, there, that's a throw-in" when it should be a corner? I just don't get it.
One of the ones she also got wrong as well was our penalty. Katie and one of the Bayern players stepped in the box before Mariona kicked it, and she gave us a goal for it. And Leah Schuler walked over and says to her, those two were in the box, and she booked Leah Schuler for it.
Yeah.
Because Leah Schuler was questioning it. Like, those are silly little mistakes that refs shouldn't be making.
Yeah, no, we're like refereeing decisions in the men's games are quite obviously spoke about a lot, Dan. But when you're seeing refereeing decisions like that, you think, what the hell's going on? Like if she gave blind people a bad name last night, I tell you.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose that's the only thing. She gave us the penalty. So yeah, as shit as she was, at least
I didn't even think it was a penalty.
That was definitely a penalty. I mean, I don't know. I thought there was a sort of FIFA ruling or something like that. That if you was an ex-Chelsea player, you should be booked. But that didn't seem to be put into place. I don't know what that was all about. But yeah, she gave the penalty. We won in the end. Hopefully, she'll never referee an Arsenal game ever again.
She'll probably get the final.
She gave us a penalty in the last 5 minutes and we win 3-2, then we'll forget all about her.
It wasn't for me. But we'll go around quickly. So, James, who was your player of the match?
Player of the match for Bayern. I would say Kyra had quite a good game. it's kind of hard to pick. I think there were spells where you could say everybody had a touch of sloppy period. I think for me, I'd probably give it to Kyra, but Russell as well. As you say, 6 and 6, she's come up with the goods again. So I think I can understand the fans giving it to her as well.
Yeah. Paul, who would you go for as your player of the match? Would you say that's someone like Russo, or would you go for a defence? Obviously, I know the defence conceded too, but I still think they've done quite well.
Yeah, I think Steph had a fantastic game at the back. A couple of very important challenges, a couple of important headers as well to get the ball away. And like we said earlier, her partnership with Leah is just sort of getting stronger and stronger as the season goes on.
Cool. Mel, who would you say?
I don't really think any of the players sort of stood out enough for me to be like, yeah, no, they definitely deserve the player of the match. So to be controversial, my player of the match was the North Bank, because they were very much the 12th man. You heard them from start to finish, and I think in such shitty weather that it was yesterday, for it to be freezing cold, windy, raining, and for the men's game to be on at the same time, it was a great turnout, and start to finish, nobody was quiet. So that's my controversial pick.
Yeah, we like one of those. Laura?
I'm going to say Steph Catley. I mean, Steph Catley, for ever since she moved into that defensive role, I think she really has stepped up. And I said it when this partnership started coming around, people were quite wary of it. And I kind of basically said, let's trust it, because Steph and Leah do have a really good friendship, and to the point where Leah even said herself in her interview that they have a joke about the communication that they have, and even to the point that they talk about communication off the pitch, which is a good thing to have. So, as we call it, we'll give Steph Catley her own head pat. So we will.
Yeah. I did read that someone apparently said that Meadow Park was flat yesterday, so I don't know what they were watching.
Not at all.
You must have had it on mute.
Yeah, it must have done. Because I bet even Leah Williamson said she couldn't hear herself think at some point. But yeah. Dan, who would you go for?
It definitely weren't flat. I mean, I was one of those. I didn't go last night because I only go when we're losing. But
the opposite to me.
I would give it to hopefully our new full-time manager for Renee, because I don't know if you guys did see it at the end, but she was so happy at the end of the game. I think she sort of jumped on one of the other coaching staff, and she was, she changed it about. You say we were struggling. She changed things about, made good substitutions, and I said just at the end, it really meant a lot to her for winning that game, and obviously it did to all of us. But yeah, it was good to see with that passion from the manager. With she was like, well, you're on the North Bank, big smile on her face, really like celebrating with the coaching staff, and it was it was really good to see.
Yeah, I agree.
What I like about Rennie Slegers is she said it herself last night that if our plan A didn't work, we also had a plan B. And I said it in the group chat last night. I don't think we ever had that with Jonas. That's so refreshing to hear that a manager is ready to set up when plan A doesn't go to plan.
Yeah.
I think that's what a good manager does, though, isn't it? That's what you want. That's a good manager. You've got plan A, plan B, plan C as well. It's like you can change things up.
Yeah, I agree. That's what I like about Renee as well. And obviously we'll come on to this afterwards, but I think she didn't actually say goodbye yesterday. It didn't look like to me, so that's why I think maybe she might be getting the job. Because I think if she wasn't, but then I wouldn't be surprised if Arsenal even made that decision. But I think we probably would have seen more of like a goodbye sort of thing. Do we have any comments, Mel?
We have had quite a few. Let me scroll up to the last one. Dorian has said he thinks we needed Kim to control the midfield without it would have been overrun. Mariona was more attacking but also gave the ball away. I think probably why Kim played the first half and got taken off in the second is for that bit of sort of defensive stability. Might not have been the greatest idea, but like we say, Renee actually had a plan B, which we love. He also said that the Mead challenger for the header won the corner that eventually got us the penalty. Good point. My only thing, I need to bring this up. This is my moan for the week. When we played against Liverpool, we were wearing the third shirt that Paul is currently modelling for us right now. All the Nike athletes, the Nike sponsor athletes, were wearing these bright luminous green boots, and people keep calling our third kit the Sully from Monsters Inc. kit. And after seeing those boots, I was like, "Fucking hell!" They've got Mike Wazowski boots on as well. Looking for a Monsters Inc. sponsorship here. So that was my only gripe. It was very distracting. That's all I could think about.
My other gripe is that those shorts don't go with that top.
Yeah,
very discoloured.
I think it was alternate shorts or alternate socks. I can't remember. I saw on Twitter that something was alternate anyway for a kit clash. Don't know how blue and red clashes, but
at least it wasn't the socks.
I don't want to talk about sock game ever again. Another James has said, it's true that Kim offers more stability and composure. Mariona's bravery and proactive forward passes bring us an edge. Sure, it's risky at times, with big risks often yield big rewards, which I think is exactly what we saw yesterday. We took a couple risks and ended up winning in the last 5 minutes. So fucking get around you, Bayern. Sorry. Leah has also said Mariona wasn't great in the first half, picked up in the second half, and they said it was the weather, which must be true, as once the rain and wind calmed down, we fired back up, which I think is fair. I think anybody playing in those conditions, it is not fun. You can't judge your passes with the wind, no matter if it's behind you or against you. The rain does hell for the visibility, but I'm not going to make
come and play in Scotland for a few weeks and then go back and tell them.
Yeah, up here playing some sleet and some snow and then fucking grow up. Dorian's also said the put officials don't help either. Correct. That referee, if I never see her again, it's too soon. Subtle observations from the North Bank definitely helped.
Yeah, I think that was me saying, "What the fuck are you doing, you fucking idiot?" really loud.
I stand behind the fact that the North Bank is the best referee in WSL.
Yeah,
I take great joy in hurling abuse at referees, which my granddad was a referee, and if he ever heard how I spoke about referees, he would probably beat the shit out of me. But considering he was one of the best referees in Scotland, I feel that I am qualified to make the arguments I do against referees.
I wasn't impressed at the end. So yeah, obviously they were the results. We'll quickly go around before we finish. Obviously talk about Renee. Paul, do you think it's a matter of time now, or do you think they've not even made the decision yet? Where are you at with Renee?
If it was any other club, I reckon it would be a couple of days and they'd be announcing how long she'd signed for. But this is Arsenal, and we don't do things like that, do we? We leave people guessing. I can see something being announced before the Bristol City game. I don't think we'll go into the second half of the season with the uncertainty, but I think she'll sign. I think she'll sign. I think she needs 18 months minimum, a couple of transfer windows, and give her the 18 months.
Yeah, what I think they should do is do on Christmas Day a picture of George Michael next to a picture of Renee, and then just say, "To save me from tears," and then it's obvious, isn't it?
You just have Bank singing it in the background.
Yeah, exactly.
Last Christmas, I gave you my heart.
Or if they've got a video of the actual team singing it as a pre-Christmas bonus on accessible areas.
That's
So,
why
man.
that's why they should put you as a media team and not the
Yeah, see.
a fan.
Yeah, you know where to follow me, Arsenal, if you want me to do your media work.
I actually know somebody that works the social media team, so maybe drop a wee not so subtle DM and be like, "This is what we need.
Yeah.
This is what the people want."
Yeah, just say Renee's super. She knows exactly what we need. James, where you at with the Renee? I'll call it Renee Gate.
Yeah, I said I was one of the ones very early on that said if we're going to do it, stick with her. Contract wise, I don't agree with Paul. I don't think it'll be much more than 18 months. So I see how it goes. Possibly at the lowest, maybe a 1 year. I said in the chat, a 1 year with an option to extend. Obviously, if things work out well, great, there you go, there's an extension. If it doesn't, thanks for your service. But you took the words out my mouth with announcing her. I was about to say, I can see it being the Christmas morning.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas, Arsenal, with a picture of her with a contract signed. So hopefully it is something along those lines and it doesn't get dragged out too much longer.
As long as it ain't like Renee with a Christmas hat on and a cigar hanging out her mouth and saying Merry Christmas, filthy Annie. Yeah. Laura, where are you at with Renee?
At first, I will admit I wasn't sure about it. But as I say, as the saying goes, sometimes you have to wait for those good things to come, and it has. I mean, the records that since she's taken over has proven that she is worthy of the job. And of course, my lovely Christmas song proves how I feel about it right now. So,
Christmas #1, isn't it?
Yeah, as I say, I'll be watching Top of the Pops on Christmas Day, hoping it's up there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think why not? Is it the results and things like that speak for themselves, and I think she's really done wonders for the girls, and maybe bringing a woman in to control Arsenal right now might be the better option.
Yeah, no, I agree. Dan, where are you at with Renee? Do you think she could be the one to take us forward? Because obviously there's still going to have to be some really big decisions made probably in the summer, isn't there, with some of the players, that some of the few fan favourites. And do you think Renee is the one that could do that?
Yeah, I think the thing is, what would be the best thing with Arsenal is just don't stop twatting around, really. And they could have announced her as manager this morning. Because I can't think there's any players in the squad, any of the senior players, that would have any negative words to say about what she has been doing and how things have been. I can't think probably between any of us that we could come up with another name and thinking, yeah, we should get so-and-so in charge. What might be a good idea maybe with Arsenal is if they could find maybe a bit more of an experienced number 2 for her.
Yeah.
Maybe someone who knows a little bit more with a WSL that could sort of maybe help and support her a little bit more. Not quite, not sure maybe necessarily who that'd be. I hope Arsenal don't do one of them stupid things. I know they're trying to get Mikel to sign a new contract, and then we have one of these double signing nonsense bullshit things on like Monday or Christmas Eve or something like that. So just get it done, Arsenal. Because I think why not? I mean, there's no reason not to. We'll see if it comes to the summer. She's got big decisions to make. She'll be make or break by them decisions, really, won't she? So that judge her ultimately her time at Arsenal then with them decisions.
Well, so I finish with you, Mel. Like what Dan said, sorry, my voiceover just went off. She's got to make those big decisions, hasn't she? But then, what else are they looking for if they're not going to give Renee the job?
Yeah, I think that if there was a replacement lined up that wasn't going to be Rennie, we would have heard a lot more about it by now. I think the rumour mill would have been going. the rumours been pretty quiet since the Nick Cushion rumours. Obviously, Carla Ward tried to not necessarily launch herself into the rumours. Again, her PR team was working overtime, and that was phenomenal, but nobody bit on it, so it is what it is. But I think at this point, given our record, even just compared to Jonas at the start of the season, compared to Rennie in this sort of second half at the start of the season, you can't deny the difference. I think it would be stupid not to give her the job. I think at this point, for them to take in the replacement, who then is going to have to come in the second half of the season and convince us that they're worthy of the job, is not only a bit of a kick in the teeth for the players, but also for Renee herself. I think she's proved that she can do it. She's proved that she's more than capable of the job. So I think at this point, to sort of hoof her out the door or hoof her back to assistant manager and to pull somebody else in, it's not going to go down well with the fan base at all, I don't think.
Yeah, because what my thing with it as well is, Mel, is that what are the Arsenal fan base going to be that patient? If someone new comes in, let's be honest, everyone's going to be like, oh, it should be Renee. So surely that puts unnecessarily new pressure on the manager.
Yeah, I think given how sort of slow the start of the season was as well, and how until Jonas went, everybody was like, the season's gone, like we're basically playing for a Champions League place. People couldn't see us getting anywhere in the FA Cup. People couldn't see us getting anywhere in the League Cup. To now, Renee sort of pulling out the bag and the team biting the bullet when both Chelsea and City dropped points for us to go out. Okay, it wasn't the prettiest of 1-0 wins, but it's a 1-0 win at the end of the day. And it puts us sort of back in position to sort of finish near the top of the table. But yeah, I think anybody that comes in now that's not Renee is just going to get unnecessary flack from the fans because we don't really have the time at this point in the season to go through another sort of settling in and teething stage. I think we've had our settling in and teething stage at the start with Jonas and his shit show. And then for Renee to just step in and instantly take us back up to the level that we know that we can play at, I think, it definitely won't go down well. I mean, James has just put in the comments that if the club fail to announce Renee, he's sure that the fans will revolt, which I think is correct.
The thing that worries me, Robert, is if we do get a couple of bad games or we get beat, then you know how quick some of the Arsenal fans, especially on nights, are quick to turn.
I think the ones that are quick to turn, no offence, well, full offence. If you're offended by this, it means it probably applies to you. But the ones that are quick to turn are usually the ones that have come in to support the club because they've bought a favourite player or a couple of favourite players. They're not really people that have been fully, not that I'm bashing people that haven't been fully involved with football beforehand, but they're the ones that are only here to see us winning. And every club's going to have a moment or a couple moments where things aren't going their way.
So when Rennie gets a couple of losses, George is not going to be at any of the games then?
Aye, basically. Since George only goes when we're winning, I think as soon as we get a couple of losses, you might not see him for a couple of weeks. But
this is a sign. This is a sign of like you've got to give a manager time, and I'm just hoping that it's not going to be. It's not going to be who was the manager that Rangers took in from their own? Like he was their assistant, and he was doing so well when he first took over, and then he get Graham Murray. And he got assigned as a manager, and all of a sudden just became shit. And this isn't going to be. That's not good. That's not what's going to happen if Rennie gets a job.
Yeah, I think you can see as well that it's not. It's different in my eyes to have somebody come from like an assistant manager and a manager role because they know the players, they know the squad knows them. It's not that sort of awkward stage of getting to know the players, getting to know the new manager. Like you've got that instant click. Okay, a lot more pressure then comes in if she gets the full-time role. But from what we've seen, I think she's a woman that's going to take that pressure and thrive with it. Our favourite slogan in my team at the minute is "Pressure makes diamonds." And I think that's someone that will just 100% sort of go with Renee. I think she comes across as the kind of woman. I mean, she's been a player as well. She's played at high level. She's played for her country. So she's well versed in the highs and lows of football. So yeah,
it's what you want to see if we do. You know, obviously, eventually when we do lose a game, of how she reacts and how the team react to what she does for the next game. She sort of needs that for her learning, isn't it? It's like, but it's just part of that process, dare we say, with it. And we would just see. We want to see what, okay, that was a shit performance. That's put in. I'm going to change the team. Do this, do that, and that's what we need to see from her, to see how that she doesn't seem scared to make changes. Like I said yesterday, at half time and things like that. That's what you want, and I think it will help her develop as a manager for us.
Yeah, I agree. Like, you think, like, obviously we just beat Liverpool 1-0, which I don't think we played the greatest in that, and she changed it up for the Bayern Munich game. So I know we're winning these games, but like you said, Dan, it's about how we bounce back, because you learn a lot more about the team you've got when you bounce back from a defeat as well. So, we'll finish there. Just want to say thank you to everyone. Thank you for coming on, Dan. Great to have you back on.
Thanks for having me, guys. Merry Christmas to everybody. It's been good.
Yeah, you too, mate. James, great as always.
Yeah, thank you for the late sub to come in tonight. Always a pleasure. And Merry Christmas to everybody when it comes, and all the best for the new year. Hope you all have a good one.
Yeah, and up the Celtic. So I just want to get that in there. James, I forgot to ask.
You were friends before this, George. Terrible. You were friends before this.
Yeah. I forgot to ask. How was the penalty shootout last week?
To be fair, it was better than the UEFA Cup final.
Yeah.
Aaron Ramsey wasn't there to miss one.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. But on a serious note, have a good Christmas. Laura, thank you as always.
Thank you very much. And just remember who we gave my heart to.
Yeah. Paul, thank you as well.
Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. I hope everyone has a good Christmas.
Yeah, you too, mate, and the family as well. And the one, the only Mel, thank you for everything as always.
Thank you for having me on again. Like I said at the start, very, very incredibly proud of you. I can't actually count on my hands how many people I've told this week about your amazing achievement. So, congrats on that again, and Merry Christmas to everybody, and hopefully everybody has a good New Year, and hopefully more Arsenal wins and hell of a lot more celebrating in 2025.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for that. We will be back in the new year, obviously, because we're being Christmas. I think we're going to try and drop a show before, I don't know, maybe the start of January, but just keep tuned. So basically, thank you all for watching. Hope you all have a lovely Christmas and a happy New Year. Feels weird saying that already. Have a good Renee year, and good night, and we got Super Renee Schlagers.